Carolina Panthers running back Rico Dowdle just did something that no other Panthers running back or wide receiver has ever done in a game. He just surpassed the most scrimmage yards by a player in franchise history. Folks, we are talking about competing with folks like Christian McCaffrey, Steve Smith Sr. Rico Dowdle put up 239 yards against the Dallas Cowboys this week, and he continues a performance that honestly I don't have words for. I do not understand how a running back that 2 weeks ago through 4 weeks in the season had about 83 rushing yards. At that point, you probably would have predicted that he's in the top 50, 60-ish backs in the NFL. We knew that he came from Dallas, that he put up 1,000 yards. But I think in our minds, we said, well, he's not really finding his groove. Chuba Hubbard's not really finding his groove. Chuba Hubbard gets hurt. And then all of a sudden, this explosive rushing attack and pass catching attack by Rico Dowdle comes to life. And you have to remember, this is also in a situation where the Carolina Panthers offensive line has had quite a few changes. You think about losing your starting center, your starting right guard, and even this week with Taylor Moton, your starting right tackle being out. So the whole right side of the line, and it's been changed, and he's still able to perform. So I do think that's a big hat tip for the offensive line. But I also now look at Rico Dowdle and think about the performance that we are seeing, folks. Again, 239 scrimmage yards, more than Christian McCaffrey, is unreal. It really is. You go back to last week, we were there live in person seeing that performance against the Miami Dolphins, 206 yards on the ground, 28 yards receiving. I kind of, said coming into this game, can he back that up? And by back it up, I meant maybe he can get 100 yards. Maybe he can get 150 combined. No, he goes out and sets a franchise record. And not only does he set a franchise record, folks, Rico Dowdle coming into this game, now coming into it, he was starting to move up the charts. So he did creep above Chuba Hubbard after that performance. After this game, though, after this 2-week span, he is now number 3 in the NFL in rushing yards. I want you to think about that. A guy who was at the back of the pack, basically, catapults himself up, and he's 4 yards away from tying Javonte Williams, who the Carolina Panthers just played and shut down for being second in the NFL. Jonathan Taylor leads the NFL with a little over 600 yards, but he also has about 35 more carries than Rico Dowdle has. Rico Dowdle, man, now the predicament that is here is what exactly is Dave Canales going to choose to do? What does he want to do with Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard in this 1-2 punch? And in your mind, you're going to say, well, feed both of them. But I think like we saw this approach attempted earlier in the season, 3 carries in game 1, 6 carries in game 2, 10 carries in game 3, 9 against the Patriots. Dowdle had 23 carries against the Dolphins, 30 carries against the Cowboys. He's someone that has to be fed the ball to get going, and I think Chuba Hubbard is the same. So if I'm Dave Canales, I continue to feed the hot hand that is Rico Dowdle and give him the ball until he shows us otherwise that he can't do it. And as far as breakdown, I do think you lean into this as a 60% force for Dowdle. Maybe even 65% of the snaps go to him. Chuba Hubbard gets the rest. Dowdle's here on a 1-year contract. I'd love to have him back, but odds are he's going to be gone. He's going to be working himself up to get paid, which is exactly what he wants. And maybe he'll get another nice 2 or 3 year contract. Or he may buy into what is being built here and what the Carolina Panthers are able to do under Dave Canales and decide to come back. You never know. But given the state of where we are and knowing at least on paper you have him for only 1 year, I use this as an opportunity to lean into what he's doing and how effective he's been. And you know what? You got Chuba Hubbard under contract, so there's a good chance that he comes alongside with this as well. What a performance, man. I don't know that I've seen anything like this. I'm not a big fantasy football player, but I can imagine if you had him on your bench or if you had just decided to start him when Chuba Hubbard went out just for the heck of it to see what was going to happen. But my gosh, he has figured it out. I'm excited to see him continue to progress. Carolina Panthers fans, let me know what you think. Should Rico Dowdle start? Where should he be? As always, this is Carolina Dad. Y'all have a good one.